Go ahead and put our hub right down over here. I played this game last night, and it is a super fun game. Put our refinery right over here, and we can use this to harvest these blue minerals over here. These little guys right here are our rangers. They're light tanks. We use them to fight what basically I think of as the creep. It's the green vines that are coming in. This game has very strong Creeper World vibes. If you like that game, personally, I love that game. Go ahead and build our ore transport over here. I like to think of it as a silo, but it's an ore transport. So I'll build over there. And basically, these little blue guys right here, or the guys with blue inside them, they're gathering ore. It goes into here, and this thing will use power to fill up. I'm building power so it needs electricity to fuel it. And that's how we get money. So this is the ore right here. They gather ore. It's actually got nice animation too, like it shows them gathering ore. It fills them over here. It lets you keep a certain minimum, but anything above a certain threshold will get put into the ship. It'll fly the sky. It'll make me money. And also you use money to buy things. Like these things cost 10, credits a piece. And we get 100 every time. We just got it. Every time that thing goes up, we get 100 bucks. Now I'm building solar panels to get more energy because here's my energy. This is the battery. It drains quickly. My silo. This is the razor leaf. That's the enemy. It's spreading this creep slowly over time. My guys over there are fighting it back. This is a different type as well that has like ranged attacks on it. So two types of Calyx over here. I call it creep sometimes because of strong Creeper World vibes, but it's Calyx. This is the green Calyx. That's purple Calyx. My guys are sitting there fighting it back, but ultimately these guys are like the smallest, weakest dudes in the game. There's only so much you can do. Also, the game control is it just feels so good. This game's great. I had a great time playing last night. This is for isotopes over here. Once they get enough resources, you can build something on top of that, which will give you this third resource over here, which you need to buy more advanced stuff. But this is my battery. It drains quickly when my silo is getting energy over there. And this is how much electricity I have right there, plus 104. That's how much I'm currently draining. It varies based on how much is being used. I'm advancing my guys a little bit over here so I can try and build a defensive wall over here. Walls do a good job of slowing it down, but eventually, it'll slowly overtake and damage it if you don't defend it properly. And the reason I want this wall, also this a defensive machine gun turret over here, it also needs power to be powered. It costs ore to build. So I gotta get my power to go all the way over there. So just go ahead and build a long chain over there. Also this thing, if you power this up, once it's finished builds, I get a boost. That's a little pickaxe thing. It gives me a boost to my mining guys, their harvest speed and whatnot. These guys over here will now pick up and deliver faster, which is useful. Still have a power crisis. Out of power, this is kind of like your heads-up display over there, what's going on. So I gotta keep building power because my silo thing is, ore deposit, is whatever we call it, is just juicing through my electricity once filling up. These things over here, what these do, like there's different tiers of difficulty. The roots are harder to take down than like this green grass. There's like the roots. So the green stuff's the easiest. Then these little bit roots are a bit tougher. Thicker roots are even harder. And this thing over here, you have to kill it, otherwise it just keeps the stuff around it alive. This over here will shoot ranged acid blobs that do an AoE, so don't group up around them. I need to get my power over to this so the machine gun will actually get powered up because these guys, being the smallest units in the game, can only do so much. But yeah, it's very strong Creeper World vibes. Like there's an overwhelming, powerful force just coming at you, and you have to break it down, hold off the defenses, and then push back forward into it. Super fun and satisfying gameplay loop. And even though it's just a demo, it's really polished. I'm very impressed. Go ahead and build a second silo over there. It's not actually a silo. This thing right there is a silo. This is the ore transport, I think is what it's called. Put down a mortar turret. I can put it anywhere. You can put it in the wall, behind the wall. Here I decided to put it behind the wall, and I find the mortar turrets work really well at pushing back the oncoming creep. The machine gun is useful if they're getting a bit close, but this thing just does big hits on the roots, which is quite useful. But as you can see, the creep is slowly pushing its way in here. The Calyx. The Calyx is slowly pushing... I'm going to keep calling it creep, but it's Calyx. The Calyx is slowly pushing its way in here, and my guys, they're just not holding the job done. Also, there's side objectives. Finish it within this time over here, or even faster. Store a bunch of ore. As I play through the game here, I will be trying to accomplish the side objectives as well, which actually makes it more challenging. But I think that's fun, so I did it. So I can build a refinery over here as well to improve the rate of my ore coming in because, these things scale. It's coming at you, but if you look over here, you'll see there's a number 1, because this green one is level 1, and the purple one is level 1, and it's actually a... hold on, motorcycle outside. Somebody's doing laps over there, and I keep having to pause the video for it. This right here, the green one over here, the main one I showed you earlier, This is its level, and it's slowly leveling up. Same with this one over here. It's leveling up not quite as fast as this one, but they get stronger and stronger, and thus they have like more hit points, and they, you know, get tougher to push back through. And so the enemy is scaling and getting stronger over time as the fight goes on. So I need to accelerate the rate at which I accumulate resources and whatnot. So I need to match or exceed their scaling in order to hold them off and eventually push them back and defeat them. Which is kind of like the whole core challenge of the game, which is, it worked in Creeper World, and it works in this as well. Also, this guy's, he's about to die if we're not careful here. I'm trying to see these guys, I'm trying to like attack this and see just how effective. It's my first time playing, you know, the game here. I did the tutorial in the first level, you know, not recorded on the footage here because, like, the first tutorial, just learning the first level, it was like nerfed creep that didn't even fight back. So this is the first, like, real level where it's actually, like, you know, fighting you for real. And I'm doing a bit of play testing here to see just how tough this is. How good are these little tanks? I'm testing to see how well they work against this over here. And the result is not well at all. We need stronger units to defeat that, which makes sense, and I do like that. Honestly, you're going to hear me say it. I like it a lot about this game because I just had a great time from start to finish. It's a great game. But you can see the mortar's doing absolute work over here. It's got great range. It's doing a good job of pushing us back over here. A lot of like the joy in this game is just watching the explosions and whatnot, which I do find myself like I'm constantly building things. So a lot of times it's kind of like you see the red, they're kind of like jars of visuals of explosions a little bit. But as I got further into the recording session here, I did a better job of like turning off the HUD constantly so you can actually enjoy the explosions and stuff more. My little tanks are gone, but to be fair, they weren't currently doing a whole lot for us. This thing's got pretty good range. It's actually reaching in and attacking my wall over there. So I'm going to need to build some more units. This is the factory, wherever it is I use to build more units. I can, over here, light factory, I can build the little light tanks over there and a bunch of other guys as well. And I can tell, you can like set waypoints. I can tell to like, you know, have the guys go out there or whatever. There's different game speeds. I played most of it on 1xp because I'm not trying to like freak myself out and stress myself out, but you know, if you want to go a little bit faster pacing, a 2x or 3x, there is definitely some moments where, like, all right, I need to sit back and build up some, you know, economy here. I'll try to, you know, edit through most of that for you. Unless I'm too busy yapping. I'm checking over here again. You can see, like, you can see the level over here, how much XP they need. You can see the hit points. It's pretty neat. The mortars are doing fantastic work at just holding the line back there, pushing that back. You put a couple of mortars on a wall, and it actually does buy a pretty hefty amount of time for you against at least this green creep over here. This is the next type of unit. I think it's called the Bulwark. It doesn't have the machine gun. Yeah, it's the medium tank Bulwark. It shoots shells, and it's good at the trunks. I do spend a lot of time messing around with like the volume until I finally figured out the way I liked it, like an hour or two into the game. But yeah, this thing over here, it shoots shells instead of machine guns, and it's doing really good damage against this thing. It's very effective at this thing, and it's also good at doing things. I think one of these is worth maybe 2, or if not 3 of like the little guys, maybe more as far as like its ability to do things. It's because it also hit the green as well. It's just quite strong, which is why it costs a lot more resources. It actually costs credits. It costs like 2 or 3 of these, right? So it should be a lot better, and yeah, it's quite good. I'm not sure if it's quite as good at handling, you know, having 4 or 5 of the little guys is probably good for dealing with the green coming at you. But as far as like dealing with roots and stuff, like this guy's just way better than little guys. But yeah, he's not quite, like his ability to deal with the green is kind of limited. So I built some more rangers to kind of support him on that regard. But I'll keep using this guy to take down these things so we can work on pushing that back a bit more. Put another refinery down over here just to accelerate my income some more. We finally managed to take down that little vine thing over what it is over there. Keep pushing through. And just having 2 of these guys doing great thing. Keep in mind, it's only at level 2, so its hit points are not crazy yet. We haven't given it a lot of time to build up, which is, you know, a good thing. You don't want to sit back, and I think it maxed out like level 10. Now, I mean, it did push back on my guys over there. We put down the thing over there for the isotopes, I think is what these called. Yeah, the isotope mine. Once it's powered, it'll slowly build these things, which I can use for more advanced units and advanced structures. Yeah, but even though we managed to take out those things, it doesn't stop this green stuff from coming back and the roots from coming back. And I pushed back a little farther forward, more than my guys could handle, so I had to retreat them back a little bit here. It's not enough to like push out the big roots and stuff. You have to have enough firepower to deal with the green that's going to keep coming in to replace it. Also, as I build these new things, I gotta remember to keep building these little guys to harvest more resources. Also, these guys, I mean, I don't often zoom enough to show it, but they actually have a nice little animation showing they're like collecting and filling in their thing with the blue resources, and then showing it get like vacuumed out at the place, or the refinery. It's just like the attention to detail is just fantastic in this game. I honestly feel like there's a world where this game could be the next Creeper World. You know how Creeper World 4 a couple years ago went viral and just all over the place and just super fun to watch? I feel like if the developer plays their cards right, this could rival that level of like mini virality on the internet. I mean, that may be a bit optimistic. That's a pretty high bar to set for any game, honestly. Creeper World 4 was pretty popular. But honestly, I see the potential for, you know, maybe something close to that level of success, you know. I would definitely love a world where the game comes out and I do a series on it and, you know, it becomes a staple on the channel. Kind of like the way Wall World did well on my channel, then every couple of years I can bring Wall World back again because it's just inherently fun to watch, right? Also, this is just the first level, or the first level I'm showing you guys. There's more stuff going to be added in future levels. I'll show you 2 or 3 levels this video, I think. As far as difficulty goes, obviously, you know, the more levels you do, the more difficult it's going to get. But a game like this, it's less about like, oh, I want insane difficulty. Although there are difficulty settings so you can make it harder for you. It's more about just like the enjoyment of the journey. Because this game, much like Creep World, is a game where it starts, like, the difficulty has an interesting curve where it starts off quite challenging. You push back and struggle and struggle and push back and struggle. And then there becomes a tipping point where, for the most part, you no longer feel incredibly overwhelmingly challenged, and then you go through a satisfying pushback and elimination phase. Which is, you know, it's like you struggle, 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 challenge, 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 then like, oh, we got it, now we get to clean up for the win. It just feels good. It is possible to, like, implement game mechanics to make it so that it continues to stay a challenge all the way through, but Creeper World didn't really bother that. It just kind of leaned into, like, yeah, you get to a point where you're doing well, your crew's big enough, you just roll through and get the job done and just feels good to do. And so far this game seems to also be leaning in that direction, and I'm here for it. I'm all about it. I love that gameplay loop. It's fun to play and it's fun to watch. These over here didn't mention, but these are the meteors. They're artillery unit. Basically, they're like long-range mortars. They have the longest range of all the units over here. And they're quite good. They're slowly working here on a level 2 guy over there. They're quite tanky. Also, it's kind of fun watching the tentacles all the roots writhe around and everything like that. Nice animations. This guy's getting pushed back. I think my meteor might have... yeah, this meteor here shot one of the roots and pushed back a little bit over here. I'm just having this one meteor shoot these guys over here, because the meteors are the only units in their range that outrange certain things. There might be... these ones I'm not sure. This right here, maybe I've got some other units going to outrange that, but like, there's one thing later in the game that the meteor is the only thing it outranges. Meteor got destroyed because it pushed back and I moved it too far forward. There's definitely like a learning curve of like remembering, you take out the roots, it disappears a bunch of it, but then like it quickly grows back, so you can't like push too far forward without enough like support. Also, the game has a command limit, so like right here, so you can only have 20 tanks out of 20, and we want destroyed. If I want to get more, I got to go to the hub and like buy an upgrade that'll, once it's finished building, allow me to build 40, you know, tanks and stuff. We're slowly working on this guy, but we're actually getting quite surrounded by the green, so a bit more firepower that could be good, so I'm building more units. It's definitely possible to like push too far forward in. I think also half of my mistake over here is I think I selected all of them and told them to attack that, and so they're not like taking the time to defend around themselves. If you just told them to move there and then chill, they'll actually shoot the green as it gets too close to them rather than constantly shooting that. But we did manage to destroy it, so it just kind of disappears. All the green roots will just disappear forever because that was the only green one on the map. So all we have left is the Tormentor to push through, which is good. Didn't lose all my units over there. Also, the blue mineral resources. Those blue resources, once they're fully depleted, they will slowly come back, but it's very slowly. So like once you do need to be, if it's a long level, you do need to be like expanding out and grabbing more of those ore deposits. That was a good clear right there as well. So if it is possible to get in a situation where like we're doing well, we're pushing forward, doing great, but you failed to secure enough resources or you burned through them just haphazardly building, I don't know, like I built 1,000 solar panels for fun that I didn't really need. But now all my ore is gone, and I don't have the resources to, you know, keep building what I need to get the job done, and then the creep could push back and get you that way, I guess. Or the Calyx, rather. I'm letting my guys stand here in the green a bit too long. Luckily, it did move back, but I gotta be a little more careful here. It's my first time, you know, I'm first hour playing, still learning, right? We are pushing it back nicely. Doing great things over here. The meteors are so useful. Their ability to outrange those things is so useful. Because those things, yeah. I wonder if it's too strong from like a balanced perspective, because it's just a demo. They're trying things over. The fact that you can build units like these that can just literally outrange any of the enemy's ranged units, perhaps too easy? Or maybe not. Perhaps that's just like satisfying and fun. I don't know. I'm not going to worry too much about like what's balanced and what's overpowered or underpowered or whatnot. It's a demo, you know, we're figuring out as we go. All I know is that, like, in its current state, it's fun. I'm not complaining. Maybe in the full version, they'll eventually introduce something that has longer range than your meteors, so you just gotta be tanky enough to deal with it. I don't know. Build an actual silo over there so I get more storage space once it builds. I think it lets me have more ore, because I'm trying to get this side objective over here, have 2,500 ore max. My current max is 1,300. So what I need is for those to build, and I'm trying not to win, you know, I'm trying not to like push in and kill too fast. I'm trying to push in, but like, I'm not going to kill the final thing until I get my 2,500. Now I push it a bit too much over here, because I'm doing group sends and these guys are in the front, so I'm pushing them into range. So I could like have put my meteor guys a bit farther forward to the front, right? Yeah, now I have 2,300 capacity to build 2 silos. I'll need to build one more so I can get to 2,500 ore in storage. For the little extra objective, there we go. Wait for that to build. This gets to 2,500, and then we can work on taking you out there. You're up to level 3 now, so you've been tankier than ever. I'm not sure, I didn't like pay enough attention, but it's possible that as these things increase in level, maybe the range of this increases. That could actually be a pretty interesting idea right there. You know, early levels, your meteor outranges them. They're little pods that shoot things at you. But as you, as it levels up, maybe the range increases, and once you get to like level 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 7, 8, something like that, eventually they get to the point where their pods outrange your meteor, and the only way to take them down is just to have a big enough force to go in and tank it. I don't know. That might be an interesting, like, difficulty curve. I mean, for all I know, that's actually in the thing, I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know why they're all queuing up to go over here and not over here. Maybe because I think I built them all over here and they want to deposit where they build. I tried moving around trying to figure, hey, go here, go here, go here. I didn't really figure it out. I was kind of like moving around. They eventually sorted themselves out. But we have the 2,500 ore, so that objective is complete. Now I'm just trying to beat it in under 25 minutes. So we gotta like move fast. So I'm trying to like quickly push them in, kind of get the job done quick over here. My light tanks, you know, they do a decent enough job pushing back the light green stuff for me. We're pushing back nicely. Now we just have this thing over here to push out. Level 3 is pretty tanky though. And here I didn't tell these guys to attack it, so they're doing a good job of like shooting back this stuff around me to protect it from landing my guys. To a certain extent, I could probably do with a few more of them. Also, you can do orbital drops to drop in units just like that. It does cost a lot more credits to do, but the orbital will just like spawn it in place over time there and just kind of slowly phases in. But it got destroyed before it appeared because I tried to build it on top of where creep was actually at, so I should have built it a little farther back. Didn't even notice that while I was playing. My guys are getting a little bust up over there, so I try to spawn some more guys. I didn't have quite enough guys over here, and also this tormentor stuff spreads pretty rapidly. I needed a lot more of these little guys over here to deal with this stuff, so my big guys could deal with you. I tried spreading them out like this, so that, you know, maybe that'll help a little bit and spread out their attacks. Lost some units in the process, because sometimes they don't really attack so much while they're moving. Some units will attack while they're moving. I'm not sure. Maybe they all do. I still like some units just attack slower. It's kind of hard to notice. At this point, it's low on hit points. I just tell them all to attack it down. We do get it. Also, the victory music is amazing. I'm going to let you listen to it. Also, watch something here. This right here. Watch this. Maybe I'll speed it up. Incredible music. Unless it's copyrighted, in which case you won't hear it at all. Here's the next map. This one has a militia Calyx that spawns enemies that will actually attack me. Also has the raised leaf over there. Not sure I'm hovering my hub over it. Also, there's a healing module that if I can connect up to, it will slowly heal my units over time. I decided to build my hub right over here because there's, you know, ore here, ore here, ore here. This is the healing module. This is the militia Calyx. I'm looking at the minimap on the bottom left over here. And this is, we got a green one and a green one over here. The green ones. No Tormentor one this time. None of the, like, so no ranged attacks to worry about over here. We have to worry about units attacking us. This over here is like the, I'm just explaining the HUD over here. This is like the Isotope ore over there. And so here I'm trying to decide how to deal with this because I could do a choke point here, I could do a choke point here, I could do a long choke point all the way across, or I could do like a little choke point here, 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 here. Just got options of how to like do this, which is good. Having a big part of what makes games fun is, making fun little decisions here and there of what to do, what not to do. So for now, I just spread my tanks out over this way to protect over here. And I'm trying to get my economy flowing, get my... the start of each level is pretty similar, which is fine. Most games are kind of like that. Yeah, you play whatever RTS game you like. The first thing you do is just tell your guys to go gather resources, right? So you kind of put down your refinery, build some guys, build this thing over here. This costs ore to build, not gold. 300 ore. So my ore deposit or whatever it is will start doing its thing. It's spreading already very quickly. The green, it moves fast. It's not playing around. I decided I want to put some walls over here, so going to the walls cost 10 ore, so it's not crazy expensive, but if your economy's not crazy fast to start, you know, I'm already like can't afford this, right? So sometimes you gotta wait for that. But having that there is useful that way because I didn't realize it until much later in the recording session, but the first stage of the creeping green, it can touch your wall and it won't damage it. It's not until those thin little brown roots reach the wall would actually start damaging it. If I had known that, I probably could have not rushed the defenses quite so fast. And I could have done things a bit differently. It's not a huge difference either way. You do want to shoot it down. But it's good to know that you don't have to panic rush out power to your machine gun to block the green. The green doesn't damage you. It's the thin brown roots and beyond that actually hurt your walls. Didn't learn that until much later. I could have equaled up a bit more before doing this. But the machine gun does do a good job of pushing that back, although its range isn't quite big enough to hit all of it, I think. Well, maybe. Also, I've got my little light tanks. I could probably move them around a bit, maybe. Although it's getting through there, so... If I can move my light tanks over there to push that back so I can get a wall over there in time, it's reaching here kind of like, the slowest. Which makes sense. It's going from here and from here. Put my walls up over there and work on blocking this. Let my tanks push it back on the right. Get my walls going and flowing. Alright, so now we're, a bit better protected for now, at least from the green. Gotta keep in mind there are bugs, so maybe it's a good thing I built the machine guns sooner rather than later because, the militia Calyx is going to send in bugs. You can actually see them on the minimap over here. 2 tiny little red dots are passing through this way. I'm usually so busy looking at this part of the screen that I'm not looking over here and seeing the red dots or where they're going. They seem to be going this way, so it seems like the developer coded them to prefer to avoid walls and go around if possible, which, that makes sense. But you can see right here, the green has actually touched my wall a little bit right there. The vines are climbing over a little bit. Maybe I should call these vines, maybe. And the vines aren't... they're not actually damaging the wall. It's not until these thin brown roots make it that start damaging it. To be fair, those brown roots, they show up there shortly after the green vines do, so maybe you do need your defenses up pretty quick. I guess the walls are kind of cheap, so if, a wall gets broken, it's not the end of the world. But now we got a couple machine guns over there. We're holding that pretty well. This machine gun's doing great work holding that. So we're holding the line for now. Keep in mind, this thing levels up over time. So if I don't keep scaling... Also, I love the camera control in this game. It's just really smooth and fluid. If you don't keep scaling up your defenses... you can be holding the line for now, but if you forget to scale up your defenses on each line, eventually as the creep, the Calyx levels up, it's going to, eventually push back what defenses you have. So... You do need to occasionally slap down more machine guns or more mortar turrets or, something to keep scaling with the enemy's difficulty on holding your lines. And keep in mind, it costs constant electricity to power these things. You gotta spend ore to build them, and then it's constantly costing electricity to power them. So as you put down more and more, you have to build more and more solar powers to finance them. And you effectively do have a limited amount of resources in this game, so you can't go too crazy on things. It's a bit of resource management, which is good. Decision making is a big part of what makes games fun, You know, not like, oh, I got to think of my essay, but like, you know, every time I choose to move a bit forward or put a turret down, that's just like a little micro decision, you know. Micro decisions are what make games fun. Here's the little guys crawling over here, and, you know, managing your resources of like what to spend where is part of that. And if you have infinite resources, that takes away some of that like decision making of what resources will be allocated where. So limited resources are actually a part of what makes it fun. Just me in here explaining game theory for no reason. It's almost like I play games for a living, and, well, you play games for a living, you think a lot about them. Just me living the dream. Pushing forward. Part of the reason I'm pushing forward so much over here is I want to get that isotope over there for the isotope mine. I can't build my the thing for advanced tech unless I get that. Also, I want to expand these other ore deposits. Although it is expanding nicely, and that's a big one. Large crawler melee, just me in words. Powerful and resistant crawler coming in. Time to put down a little mortar turret. Mortar turrets are just, they're really nice at pushing back. Also, I do feel like the mortar turrets do decent damage to the little crawler guys. Gotta defend this one as well in case those guys go down. And obviously gotta go, you know, powered up. This game has 5 challenge maps and a skirmish mode. And a tutorial. The tutorial and the first challenge map I skipped because there's kind of freebies, no real challenge on them. I've done the 4 challenge maps and, you know, skirmish mode, and be happy to show those to you guys. Now, you managed to beat all 4 challenges and play this skirmish mode, CG? Spoilers! Turn my hair out. Sorry, I mean, I guess I feel like as I'm pivoting the channel into voiceovers here, it should just be expected that if I make a video on it, I eventually somewhere in the video accomplish the challenge. Now, I'm not spoiling for you. Did I do it in this particular run right here? For all you know, I might die, you know, in the next, you know, 10 minutes in game here, and then start over again. I'm not spoiling that for you, but for the most part, if I'm making a video, I did probably accomplish the thing. I'll probably, like, keep you on your toes by every once in a while tossing the video where, like, nah, I didn't do it at all. But ultimately, as a pivot to voiceovers, the whole point of it is just gonna be like, hey, check out this fun game. It's pretty cool. Rather than some immersive experience of like, oh, is he gonna get it? Is the creep gonna beat him? You're here for the vibe rather than for, like, the, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna not? Which is a bit of a pivot from the channel. To be fair, actually, the first 700 or 800 videos of Territorial.io I did in my channel were wins only. Every single time. So to be fair, historically, on the initial building of my channel, I did build my channel on, if you watched the channel for more than a week, you knew that everything was gonna be a win by default. So this is more of me just kind of returning to the roots of my channel, to be fair. I built my channel on wins only. You knew going in every single time it was going to be a win. In fact, quite often in my titles, I would spoil, you know, my Territorial videos, alone in the team and I still won. They all ganged up on me and I still won. Like, I built my channel on everything being spoiled before it ever even started. So, like, this is nothing new. This is me just kind of like going back to my roots, although the voiceover is different. But honestly, I'm vibing. Like, I had a blast playing this game, you know, off camera, because a lot of my part of like finding games is like a lot of the games you just end up deleting. You know, so many games I play, try them out, and like, oh, this game actually kind of sucks. Delete that. Don't show anybody that one. And having to like commentate every single game that if you're even going to delete them is like, nah, bro. Crawlers are coming and doing some damage though. Also, you can click this button right over here to spend or to repair structures over time. Not your tanks, just like structures. Anyway, that's enough yapping about voiceovers and spoiling wins or whatever. Realistically, I need to just stop talking about that in general. Because now all the comments are going to be filled with comments talking about the voiceovers and like, the voiceovers suck, I like real time. And that's just the experience of pivoting from something you've been doing for a while, is that like, not everybody's going to want that pivot. Not everybody's going to like the pivot. Part of my job is accepting that some of y'all ain't get, like, no matter what I do as a content creator, some people are not going to like it. That's just how it is. So I just gotta kind of like look at the big picture of like what is going to work for most people, and also what's going to work. Also, we're kind of like, we got a power crisis here. I need to build more solar panels. But I still have to do with what's going to work creatively for me. And one thing I've learned is if I play the same game too many times, it, or within too frequent of a period of time, it like drains my sanity. And also another thing I've learned is that the real-time commentary is fine for me if I have a high rate of usage. Back when I did Territorial IL, when I first started playing it, was actually fairly easy to get wins in because the player base wasn't that good at it. And I would just stream it and talk to chat. And like I'd had some streams where I'd stream for like 6 hours and I'd get like 20 videos worth of stuff because like the game had 5-minute matches in the back at that time, like 5 to 10-minute matches sometimes. And I also kept putting out like really short videos back then until I eventually learned algorithm likes long videos. We're holding back nicely over there though. Moore's doing work over there, going crazy in solar panels. I had a train of thought going and I lost it. It's fine. Honestly, it's probably a good thing. Me trying to keep my train of thought going is quite often what ends up with me rambling and being highly repetitive, which drives a lot of you guys crazy. Also, I should be editing past a lot of this building up part, I think, instead of yapping over it. Now we're talking, start getting those tanks built and stuff. The Razor Leaf has leveled up to level 4 now over there. This one's leveling faster than that one's interesting. And the Militia Calyx is also leveled up to level 4. Go ahead and spam out some Rangers over here. I didn't realize at the time, but you can only queue up 5 units at once from one building. Well, Rangers and a Meteor. Battery stores additional power. Costs 240 credits to build it, but lets you bank up 10,000. And the value of this is what tends to happen is you have this number varies a lot. The red tiny number, it's kind of hard to see. It'll vary a lot basically when you're if there's a bunch of rocket ships that go into space, as those are, basically that what's happening is, I didn't explain the lore. Basically, we were on a ship, we got woken up by the ship's AI from cryosleep, and we've been sent down to this planet to run operations here to gather the resources, the ore, to send back up to the ship, and then that's apparently getting sold somewhere and giving us credits and money. There's different types of crawlers. That one over there, that might be a healer. There's the melee ones, there's spitters, and there's the ranged ones. And then the healing ones, different types of bugs. Got a lot more units now. We can start trying to push our way forward a little bit. Try and get those isotope mines back over there for us. We can build that and start getting more advanced structures if we want to, or to start pushing out in general. Doing pretty well though. Now I want to put more power out here so we can eventually build that on the isotope mine over there. Seems like the line's holding pretty well. I think it's important to always kind of go back and scan your lines to see how see that wall is down to half hit points. So I've got a vulnerability over there. Look at my machine gun not attacking. Machine guns, if there's something with blocking a line of sight, they won't hit it. So what's happening here is this wall is blocking this machine gun's line of sight on that bug. So that bug's just attacking there unhindered. So I put a mortar there because the mortar will hit that bug. Mortars shoot up and over things, whereas machine guns do not. Machine guns need a direct line of sight. Now, mortar, is that mortar going to shoot over there? Yep, see there, it's more shooting in, hitting the bug. I'll put another machine gun here just in case, make sure it gets handled, but I think the mortar, we got the job done just fine. Now the line is secure, we can go back to trying to expand elsewhere. I've got different theories of how you can expand. You can, one, expand just by these units, and then, like, as I go in different spots, have some to stay here holding this line while I push another direction. Or you can do a thing where you have your kill group that goes in one direction constantly, always one direction, and then you build power behind you, and like once I push this back a bit, I could build a wall there to hold the line, and then have my kill squad go out. So you basically, when the path splits, you have to have something hold one path while you push the other. You can either leave some units to hold the line, or you can like build power out and build a wall with machine guns and mortar turrets to hold the line, or a bit of both. Either way works. Obviously, whenever your command unit gets filled, you gotta go back and works. Whenever your command unit gets filled up, you gotta go buy more, right? It's the last time I'll mention that, I think, hopefully. Also, please do bear with me as I figure out how I'm doing voiceovers on the channel in general. I gotta figure out, it's kind of like varies from game to game, and especially in variety, it's a little bit trickier to figure out how to do it, but, check back a few months from now if you're not like a regular viewer, and hopefully I'll have it figured out by then. I think overall it's going to be a healthy pivot. Because one of the things I've always struggled about getting variety on the channel is it's a lot of like trial and error of games and a lot of like deleting footage, and I don't particularly love recording 10 hours of commentary just to delete 90% of it. So that's like something that's always like demotivated me from playing so much Friday. But this works great because I can just like take a day, just spend all day trying out 10 different games. 9 of them suck. Don't even make videos on them. And then you find the one banger at the end of the day, like I found this one right here last night, and you get the footage on this one. Then all I have to do is just like, all right, we got a couple hours of footage of this. I only got to talk to the microphone for a couple hours, edit it down to, you know, 1 or 2 videos or whatever, and there we go. So as I get better at this, I do think it's going to be much healthier for getting a lot more variety in the channel, doing a better job of getting like the good games. You know, like, why not just talk in the microphone for 10 hours? I don't know what's about my vocal cords, but I just do not have that level of vocal stamina, and also that is a lot of like mental wear and tear. So I think overall, this will be healthy for the channel for people that are okay with voiceover. Some people, I get it, just they only want real-time commentary and nothing else. Sorry, as the channel pivots, you'll either need to adapt or just like unsubscribe, I guess, because ultimately I've been trapped for 3.5 years in this situation where like people watch me for 2 or 3 games. That's kind of about it, and I struggle to get out Friday at a decent rate, which is probably a big part of why I've been trapped in 2 or 3 games. And I think this could be the thing that helps me branch out into being what I've always wanted to be for years now, a true variety channel. Yeah, it's okay to come back and dabble in Risk and Open Front, whatever, occasionally here and there, but ultimately what I've always wanted to be is just like, you know, here's this great game, a couple episodes on it until we're all bored of it, and then this next game, the next game, the next game. Just, that's what the dream's always been, and hopefully the voiceovers can push us in that direction. And yeah, I understand it's not for everybody. I do. It's no matter what you do as a creator, it's not for everybody. But so far, I'm optimistic, and also the more freely I'm allowed to talk about whatever's on my mind while playing these games, the easier it is for me to voiceover. If you guys are like, you talk about the game and nothing but the game, a lot harder to do voiceover. But if it's like, whatever, just hang out and vibe and talk what you're going to talk about, and we'll skip past if it's boring, you know, he's rambling again for the next 10 minutes, I'll skip past it. Honestly, that's probably a better solution. It's like, okay, just have it like be known if you want to watch my channel. I ramble sometimes, and when I'm rambling, just skip it. Just click forward into 5 or 10 minutes till I'm done yapping about it. And there you go, problem solved. Because it's not everybody hates it. Some people like it. I've done a poll, like 80% didn't care when it went. No, I think what it was like 17% liked it. No, 12% liked it, 17% hated it, and the rest kind of like neutral. So a lot of people don't care, but others kind of find it divisive. I also think it depends what I'm doing it. Like, if I'm yapping over like the building phase, that's boring. If I'm yapping over like the combat phase where we're pushing forward, that's entertainment. So it's one of those things where I need to like mentally track it, or, you know, go back in editing and like, okay, I yapped during the build-up phase here, edit a bunch of that. I yapped during the combat phase. Ooh, that's fun, watch. Show that, you know, we'll figure it out, I don't know. At this point, I think we're fairly late in the video. I feel like later in the video, if you don't know how YouTube works, as the video goes farther along, more and more people click off. That's just kind of how it works. So the longer the video goes on, the more and more you're left with just like the actual true fans. So I find, like early in the video, I try to do a better job, like don't yap as much. But later in the video, it's like, only people left at this point are kind of like people who are cool with it for the most part. You know, we're probably like 30 minutes deep or more into the video by now, right? All the yapping haters probably clicked off well before now. Spitter coming in, no dice. But yeah, we're just still figuring out how we're doing these voices over here. But yeah, enough yapping about that. Regardless of allowing myself to yap or not, I do think I do need to like work on like, you know, not too much repetition. I never actually did test out the explosive defense there, because I think it sounds like a one-time use, and that's a healer. I want to get that to heal my guys, because I have a lot of these things have the challenge of lose less than 10 units, so the healing thing is useful for that. Keep them healed up. Very much a game where if you want to challenge yourself, you can play on 2x speed. It's possible if I get better at the game and you guys are like watching, and if we end up doing a long series on it, playing the skirmishes until the full version comes out, whatever, and I get good at the game, I could play it at 2x speed eventually, just for like, you know, better pacing of the visuals. Although, I mean, 1x speed, I don't personally mind playing it at 1x speed, but yeah. More likely than not, it's just gonna be like 1 or 2 videos on the channel, maybe 3, and then you guys are bored of it and move on. But I mean, if the game hits right and you guys really like it, I'm all about doing a long series on it. I do need to stop talking. A lot of the game is just building up here, and before combat, and I find myself, as I'm just sitting here watching the footage back in real time, and, you know, instead of just like, all right, I'm not going to talk for the next 10 minutes because we're just building it for 10 minutes. I'm just yapping over it, and just to be fair, it'll make editing a lot more work for me unless I just don't bother editing now. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how much work. The getting the footage part, love it. Getting footage has never been more fun and more easy for my channel right now. Oh, I want to find some, especially variety content. I want to find some variety contents. Download games, play them. Don't even gotta worry about talking. Don't gotta worry about how I'm gonna do my intro or my pacing. Just record the footage. Done. Easy. And then delete all the games that were bad. Super easy and super fun. It's never been better getting footage used for my channel now. Voiceover, now doing the voiceovers is kind of like, still figuring out how we're gonna do that. The editing, still figuring out how much we're gonna do that. Overall, voiceovers are more work because it's adding an extra step to the process, but for me, I think it just works out better with how my channel, like most channels don't have the problem I do where like they have to delete like 90% of the footage they make. I don't know how I managed to pin my channel into this weird little niche where like I have to delete most of the things I record, but most YouTubers don't have this problem. Most YouTubers are like, play a game for an hour, edit it, boom, it's good. Me, it's like, all right, I gotta try 10 games and none of them suck. Gotta delete that. And we found, and my main games are like the PvP games, and like, you gotta get that good match to show, so you gotta delete like the losses in the bad match. It's just like I got myself in this weird uncommon scenario on YouTube where like most of the footage I record just needs to get deleted, which is not great for talking over it in real time. Right now I'm pushing out trying to put some walls over here because it's kind of hard to like, got a wide open area over here, so putting these walls over here to like slow this down, defend this, that way we can keep pushing this way. But as I'm doing this, I realize these guys don't shoot through walls, so realistically, you should get your guys out in front of it, then wall up. But luckily, these guys can shoot over the wall. These guys can't, but these guys can, so they're holding it back enough for this to have time to build up. We're okay. Move them on out. Gain control outside the wall there, and we'll finish it off. And so I did doing the wall over here, get a wall there, and slowly wall my way out. I've also tried different strategies in the later matches, which will probably get shown in. I mean, I think these two matches is probably enough. These two levels is probably enough for this this video. Also, I didn't realize at the time, but you can. There's a unit in the way. You can tell the build to go there, and the unit will just move out of the way. I think is what I found out as I played later on. So you don't have to. Oh, my units are in the way. I gotta move them first before I can build. No. Just tell it to build, and your units will be like, all right, I'll move away. They'll get out of the way, which is great game design. It's fantastic. I'm very impressed with this game. I have high hopes for this game. I'd love to see this game like do really well, and you know, I'm looking for more games to have as long-term staples on my channel that either I can just like do periodic episodes on, or like, you know, do a short series and then come back after a long time and then do the series over again, like I did the Wall World. Just looking for more fun games like that. They're just like, yeah, the game just hits right and just have some fun with it. We're making good progress over here. Not sure if that green is from that one or if it's from the other one, but also, I don't know if we see it here, but like they're actually growing on it's like they're leaves on these trees. I don't know if I show it here, but at one of these matches I show it where like you can actually see them fall off. It's great. Such a great concept. This game, like, it seems like such like a simple concept, but like the execution is just like it's masterful. If you couldn't tell, I had a great time playing this, and I was very impressed. You don't see very many games that like try to capture that creeper world vibe, and when you do, you don't see that many of them that do a good job of it, or like even potentially rival it, and that's what this game is doing. And I am like, I would love for this to be a game that you guys love watching the channel. Now, this first video of it, obviously, as I play the game more, I'll do voiceovers more on this game, on the channel in general. I'll get better about like, okay, everybody got bored when I was yapping during the build-up phase, so, you know, maybe yap during like the combat phase or whatever. I don't know, maybe vice versa. I don't know. We'll figure it out. My whole thing as a YouTuber is like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is just trial and error. I just stumbled into this on accident. Just me tripping forward, face forward. Just me tripping face forward into a slight amount of success. Lucky. Putting good pressure here. It's level 5. So far in my experience, I haven't noticed a huge difference between the various levels, aside from, I think, more hit points, and beyond that, I'm not really sure. It's not like I noticed that, like, oh, at level 1, the brown tendrils come in, and level 3, the thick brown, the roots. The thicker roots, then level 7, all of a sudden, there's new root types. Maybe that is what's happening, I just didn't realize it. I'm not sure what the distinction of various levels is. I would think it would be interesting to be like, level 1, only the default green comes in. Level 2, the brown roots. Level 3, the thicker roots. Level 4, something else, you know, different scaling. Like, you know, the militia one, level 1 gets this type of unit. Level 3 gets the next type. Level 5, now we have healers coming in. Level 7, now we have big tanks, you know, like a scaling of that. That might be what it's currently at. I just didn't realize it. Or maybe the developer is planning to work on that. I don't know. I imagine that's probably roughly how it currently is. Hopefully it's more than just like hit point scaling. The takedown that one is great, but there is still green from the other one over there working its way over. But now we have to worry about it spawning this way towards us, which is nice. Now, when I click on these, it says that these are very weak to fire, so those little things there are that spawn them. Once you reach and start to, they actually have very low hit points. Like, they melt very quickly, you know. So it's not that hard to take them down. There are a lot of them, but once you can reach them, it's not hard to take them out. Also, I got the healing guy built here, didn't mention that, but this little circle around here, anytime that's around these units, and they're missing hit points, it'll send out a little blue beam to heal them. It's at level 7 over there. And also, it doesn't heal itself, but if you have 2 of them, they'll heal each other. So it's actually quite useful when you're trying to see, like, there's a healing 301, so it's got good range and it's got good healing. It doesn't heal insanely quickly, you know, like 2 hit points every like half second or so, but just a nice persistent healing. I never did grab that healing module, but the healing module effectively does what this thing does globally, which is like just like a slow gradual heal over time. Maybe it's not quite as fast that, but that's been healing over time. What's a weird little gap in there in that green circle? Weird. Oh, I think that's like the collective range where none of them can hit. So I'm selecting all these guys at once. I'm using these. Eventually, I had to figure out a tactic to use these guys to, you know, target the tankier stuff in the back, and then let my bulwarks and my other guys defend, like against like the encroaching in green. Seems to be a good strategy. Also, quite often, as you're pushing into one area, other stuff will like loop its way in from behind if you don't like wall it off, which my wall wasn't in front of here. I could have, now I think about it, I could have done another wall from there to there and stop that nonsense a little bit. We're pressing in nicely. Also, I think I built some Inferno tanks. I didn't mention that, but I researched and built some Inferno tanks. They're flamethrowers. I didn't really quite figure out what their strength is. I think they're kind of like, I think the light tank does really good. The Ranger, the light tank does really good at the green vines, just the little green leaves or whatever. And I think the Inferno thing effectively is just like better at dealing with the green there. I didn't really fully grasp what exactly their specialty was. What they're better at. I should have moved one of them back here to deal with that. I was just kind of trying the game, play test, and figure out as it went. I'm doing great damage on this thing. It's level 8 and it's melting pretty quick, so it's either not the tankiest or I've just got a lot of guys hitting on this guy. Also, it is possible for units to get stuck inside the green. It does feel like this one's able to like move across it, or maybe it's getting stuck now. Yeah, sometimes it feels like they can walk across it. Sometimes your units are just definitely stuck inside it and can't get out. We lost the healing unit over there, but we still can afford to lose 9 more and complete the secondary objective. We managed to take out the militia Calyx, and we take out the core one. All the other ones are gone. So the only thing left now is the regular green Calyx over there. Also, now we're building the Goliath. We're trying to think huge tank with a large cannon and machine gun, so it's like a one-man army jack of all trades kind of thing. But its range is not as far as the artillery, which kind of makes sense, but aside from the artillery, I think it's got some of the longest range, or if not the longest range, aside from, you know, this thing's massive range. We are pushing through nicely. I put a little flamethrower tank over there to hold this back, and I mean, these guys are also shooting it from the artillery is shooting from that range as well, but it seems to be doing a decent job at holding it back a little bit. Not sure how well it does against the roots, but against the greens, seems to be doing alright. Try moving a bit farther forward. I'm not sure quite how strong it is. Also, keep in mind, it's just a demo. It's possible that some units might be underpowered. I'm not sure if it's underpowered, properly powered, it's hard to gauge. It doesn't feel like it's an advanced unit. I had to research. It feels like it's struggling just to hold back some green, even with support fire from a mortar cannon over here. So it doesn't feel very strong, but to be fair, this is also a level 6 thing, so the green has probably got more hit points now. And it is just one of them. But yeah, I was kind of expecting... I was expecting that this advanced unit, one of it by itself, would be able to, like, do a decent job holding back the green, but apparently not. But then again, you know, it's level 6, so hard to say. Also, you can it's like sometimes there's a bit of like resource management, or like because those ore transports, those rocket ships going into space, are constantly using that ore, surplus ore, to get you money. But sometimes you have plenty of money, but not enough ore, so you can turn them off to you know, stop burning through your ore, so you can save the ore to build these guys or whatever, because these things cost 325 ore each plus credits, right? A bit of balancing there. Also, the game does have like the command groups. I've got 3 set right now. You can select things, structures, units, whatever, and then assign them to control groups. Later on, much later on, I realized I can select all my silos and set them to control group 4 or 5, whatever, and then I can press. That way, I don't have to like constantly move my camera back over here just to toggle them off. I can just select all 3 of them, put them on control group 5, and I need to turn them off. Just press the 5 on the keyboard. And then this will pop up over here, even from over there. You can just turn them off and save the power on them and stop having them burn through the ore. And it's kind of a useful little trick to be able to do that. Same thing with light factories. I eventually learned to assign light factories. I think I liked it on 2. And you can be focusing on the combat over here. And just press 2 and be like, build me more tanks. And send them over here. Or wherever you want over here. And did that. Just fun little things I found to make it smoother. That way, if this becomes a series you guys like, one, it's just better from a gameplay perspective to be able to do that. And 2, from a viewer perspective, this is what you guys are watching for. You're not watching for me clicking around and base a whole bunch. You're watching to see me fight the Calyx, the creep, over here. So the more time I spend looking at this rather than spending, oh, look at that nice clear. I didn't see it while I was playing, but look at the minimap. Look at it clear over there. So now it's nice, which I'd pan over and saw that by. Yeah, as I do, there's value in, like, the more I play a game, the better I get at, like, figuring out, okay, this is what's fun to watch. This is what I need to keep the camera on, etc., etc. So, if you guys like this, and I do more and more videos of it, I can definitely improve the watchability of it, both in terms of the footage I get in the first place, and also in terms of, you know, how much yapping I do, what kind of editing I do. Do you guys like it largely unedited, or do you want me to shut up and jump cut forward more aggressively? Comment feedback and retention data will help me analyze that. I'm also, you can drop ship. It's expensive, but I'm dropping in a Goliath over there. I need to make sure the green doesn't get it, but I've got some Goliaths over here holding back the line. They're doing a great job holding back the line. That guy himself, well, Inferno Tech, didn't do a whole lot, but I decided to bring him in to help me with this over here, because we are trying to finish in under 40 minutes, and we are only 2 minutes away. So I am trying to get over there and get the job done in the next 2 minutes. So the Goliath tanks, I'm trying to move them in. So there's 3 of them, and the Inferno tanks can help do some damage as well. It's got half its hit point left. How am I going to get this thing done at level 6, about to be level 7? Yes, leveling up right now, level 7, with that much hit points left in 1 minute and 40 seconds. The question is, do we get this done? I'm trying to, like, use the orbital to drop in some more units. We got it done, though. Not sure how it just rapidly drops so quickly. I think I selected all of them and told them to attack it. And once I told them all to target fire on it, they melted its hit points pretty rapidly. Also, here's this fun little thing over here. I think rather than fast forwarding through this time, if I did fast forward it last time in the editing, I'll just let this play out while the end card of, like, here's next video to watch shows up in the corner somewhere, I don't know where, but yep, that's it. Thanks for watching. Now we got plenty more videos you can watch too, like this one right here. See you next time. Absolutely love this game, by the way. And honestly, had a fun time doing the voiceover too, because it's just fun to watch back again. But yeah, bear with me, we'll figure this out. See ya.